money. It's cool.
We got whores in the city. We need backup now.
Don't be so dang literal.
Well, you've got one heck of a nerve.
Oh my god, the government is here! Run!
Hey, barkeep, whose leg do you have to hump to get a dry martini around here?
Ich bin ein Springfielder.
Shut the hell up. I've got the strangest feeling someone's gonna kick his ass.
You guys, this is all Kyle's mom's fault. Shut up, Cartman. Kyle's mom is the one that started that damn club, and all because she's a big, fat, stupid bitch. Don't say it, Cartman. Wait. Don't do it, Cartman. Wait.
All right, switching over. What's up, everybody? It's totally Toonular. Monday, fun day.
Monday
All right,
edition.
guys, because we're live.
Oh yeah.
We're live on a Monday. Mondays are not
And a
boring
holiday.
anymore.
Yes.
Yeah,
Juneteenth.
it's a holiday.
It's Juneteenth.
Uh-huh. Oh, today. Well, happy the
So
Juneteenth.
basically, James, Juneteenth is taking the place of what traditionally has been the holiday of Columbus Day, right?
Because fuck Columbus.
Fuck Columbus. Fuck the notion of is celebrating the day we took over
Wait,
indigenous
Columbus
people.
Day is in October, no?
Yeah, and it's no longer a holiday.
Right, but I thought that was
And-
replaced with Indigenous Peoples Day, not... I don't know how Juneteenth
No,
ties into
so
that.
as far as bank holidays go,
Oh,
like-
gotcha.
so I deal with I deal with sort of financial institutions in like a lot of ways, and so as far as bank holidays go, it's going to be like a 1-for-1. At least this is my understanding. So today banks were closed, which means all financial institutions were closed. So you're not cashing checks, you're not doing title loans, you're not doing any of that shit today.
I see.
Well, we are live today.
This is a conversation I'd love to have with you more so another time, but right now...
No, but I mean this is
And
good for the listeners.
Fat Bet
They
is
don't know.
also in the
They
chat
have no
right now.
idea.
What's up,
Hi,
Fat Bet?
Matt.
Hey,
Babs
Babs.
hanging out with us. Yeah, and you know, when I got a story to tell, right? So when I was younger, I wrote this short story in English class. I think I was in like 8th grade. But I really wanted to get into movies. I was really into these monster movies. And I wrote this story, and I showed it to all my classmates. They were all into it. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna write this story. I'm just gonna name them all after you guys, and you're all gonna get eaten by this giant crocodile." And then, I get in trouble. So I show it to my teacher, and immediately she's like, "You cannot share this anywhere."
For your parents.
Because,
Like, he was a
this,
psycho.
this is basically a short story. Yeah. But even though all my friends were into it, it wasn't like I was, doing anything nefarious. It was like, here's all my weird friends. But here we are, 2023. And yesterday, I got to murder all my friends in my mom's backyard with Dwayne Steeler. And it was
And you
it
got
was
away
the
with
same
it.
story?
No, it was not this. Definitely not the same story. It is something we've been doing for a minute. Second rehearsal, little movie called Portrait of Payback. It's Dwayne Steeler's fucking John Wick. Man, I can't believe the stunts that this dude did. I wish he was in the chat right now because I want to make sure he's okay. That dude was fucking running everywhere, fucking pulling out guns, elbowing people. He got pulled in a triangle choke and broke out of it, and then had to wrestle
What?
Reeves.
Like,
All one whole right now I've cut it together. It's like a whole 4-minute sequence of Dwayne killing like 4 dudes at
Nice.
once.
that
Is this gonna
The
pass
chat.
like Chris Hemsworth movie on Netflix now as action figure, like an action movie? Because they could just release like a big action movie, and I feel like this has potential to make people watch this over Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, this is the new action star. I'm saying, there was Stallone, there's Schwarzenegger, right? There's Statham. There's now Chris Hemsworth, Keanu Reeves. Now fucking Dwayne Steeler is on that list of top action stars.
I like to me, there's a level of like Dwayne that's always been an action star. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, we had this idea that was initially just a joke. Me and Reeves saw John Wick 4, and we're like, what if somebody stole Dwayne's art, right? And then he had to go murder them to get his art back. And then we just couldn't stop talking about it. And I pitched it to Dwayne, and Dwayne was 100% in. Now he got these art counterfeiters that are trying to counterfeit Dwayne Steeler's art. And he's going to fucking murder them and get his art back.
And like the idea of, art is for the artist. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he's defending your independent art from people trying to steal it and turn it into, AI or NFTs. Dwayne is protecting all your art.
Thank you, Dwayne.
By protecting he is protecting everyone. This is going to be a level of insanity I don't think the world is ready for.
I don't
know if I'm.
You know what I
like?
Oh, sorry.
What
no, I say like what I wanted to see. I guess we're too late for the next one because I saw last week the trailer for Expendables 4. So maybe Dwayne is gonna be on Expendables 5.
Expendables 5,
bro.
Hell yeah.
That's a great call. I would go and see that movie.
Dwayne is way too young to be involved in any Expendables movie in the slightest.
Oh no, they have like younger people. Like even Megan Fox is on the 4. Like she's like dating Jason Statham something on the trailer.
Yeah, but she's like 50 now too, isn't she?
Probably 40 something.
Yeah.
Probably not 50.
No, but they have younger people too. They try to mix now like the younger generation, but they do have like Steven Seagal coming this one and Liam Neeson or like 50 Cent gonna be on this one.
Yeah, fuck Expendables 4. That movie was actually terrible.
Yeah, it's certainly no portrait of payback.
No, and I have this footage of Reeves going. So Dwayne, spoilers, chokeslams Reeves to a table, and I haven't stopped watching it like 100 times.
Oh my god!
I mean, did it like 3 different angles, so it's just like bam, bam, bam.
How is Reeves back in all of that?
He says he's fine. That was anyone out there trying to make their own independent action movie. If you want to use a table, use balsa wood. Shit breaks super easy. It's like thick enough that it looks good, but it's thin enough that like you go right through it. No splinters. Broke right in half.
Bro, so you guys are like legit building tables for each of these things? Like, is that the idea?
Table, yeah.
Say what?
I thought you're gonna get like a bunch of like card boxes and cover with like a sheet.
No, we're building a table. And Reeves is gonna go through that table.
Got it. But I mean, for like the balsa wood for the test and everything. Like, how is that test set up? You're building tables, right?
Yeah. Well, for the balsa wood, we just got it was like 2 feet by 4 feet, and I just laid it flat in between 2 chairs.
Got it. Okay, cool.
A foot high. The height that we're trying to get. Then, next week we'll build an actual table.
Got it. Okay. Super cool.
Yeah. And then we also have this wrestler is doing some crazy shit. I don't want to spoil all of it, but we get some real violence, some real shit going on too, and all this. So it's pretty wild.
Amazing.
Kind of a crazy.
Awesome to hear.
It happens so fast. I don't know. This shit happens so fast, but hey, it's pretty amazing. And our one goal is I don't give a shit. I'm just making it, right? There's no point to me doing any of this. I'm not like doing it for any particular reason to sell Blu-rays or anything, you know what I mean? But our one goal is that we want Keanu Reeves to watch this movie, either to send us a cease and desist or to say that he likes it. Either one. We just got to know that he watches it.
So you have to have a child approach him at a comic book convention with it already queued up on their YouTube. Did you guys see, and it was a few weeks ago now, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago, there's a little kid that comes up to him and like it's an 11-minute interaction at like a comic book store right after right after 4 came out, right? Keanu's way into the kid and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing, little dude?" You know, the whole fucking thing, right? And the kid's like, "I like comic books. What are your favorites?" And he's like, "I like Spider-Man. I'm going to draw a comic one day." And Keanu Reeves is like, "I would love to see a comic that you draw. Can you draw Spider-Man?" And the kid draws him a Spider-Man.
Oh my god!
Like right
Keanu
there.
Reeves the man.
There you go.
He is. He's a good dude. But you should have a child. Like get Jimmy's kid.
Or just
You
walk
should have a
around.
child. Just a side thing. You should just have a child.
Yeah.
Find a woman out
Just
there.
just walk around New York. Maybe you see him in a subway. Maybe he's in a park eating a cake for his birthday.
Maybe he's very sad by himself on a bench.
So James, you should become a dad as soon as possible. Have that kid grow up and then send them off to meet Keanu Reeves. Like that's that kid's purpose in life.
That's a long-term plan right there.
I played the long game.
Also, the price you're gonna spend on having a kid, you can make a shitstorm movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point. All the money you save on diapers, you could make Shitstorm 2 or whatever.
I literally think you just borrow Jimmy's kid for a weekend and take
Like, hey,
Jimmy's
this
kid.
is Keanu. Yeah, just show Keanu this and film it, and have Jimmy film it.
There you go.
From the corner. I think it'll be perfect. And I think you would get what you want.
Yeah, and either
and try to find Ariel's wheelchair too. Just make it levels that he can say no. So the kid on a wheelchair.
Right. Just
Cough a little bit.
That would be amazing if we get a cease and desist because the kid shows him a video. That would be a highlight.
Well, that's the thing is that you have to make sure he actually sees it because his lawyer could just see it and send a cease and desist. So it's not enough to just get a cease and desist. I hate to say it. You should make sure he sees it to inspire the cease and desist.
Also, I don't think he cares. I think if someone does, like a producer or a lawyer, that it won't go through him because I feel like he wouldn't be like, I don't give a fuck.
That's exactly
about
what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
He wouldn't care. What's the production company that makes John Wick?
123 Sesame Street. I don't know.
Well, it's like Lionsgate, I think, and then it's like a bunch of companies. You know, they Sony or Lionsgate distributes it, but then the action is done by another company called 87 North, and then the actual production company is like one guy's stunt. Like John Wick has like their own like company they shoot under.
So Lionsgate basically is the big boy. Yeah, they're the ones that would sue. They're the ones that will send.
If you get a Lionsgate suing us, at least I know someone watched it. You know what I mean?
That's true. They have a whole team of lawyers just waiting for this particular Dwayne Steeler film in their inbox. They are ready.
And then you watch the new John Wick movie, and then Keanu Reeves is choke slamming dudes through tables. I'm gonna be like, that was me.
You're like, yeah.
We
this
inspired
was my
that.
influence on this film.
Love it.
Dwayne Steeler and John Wick 5. Let's get that going.
There we go.
But Nicole, how's it hanging on the West Coast?
Everything's good. So this past weekend I went to like the Sacramento area, an area called Auburn, California, and we did rattlesnake training with Mo.
Rattlesnake training?
Yeah. So we
With
go
real
outside.
snakes?
Was that?
With real snakes?
Yeah. Yes. It's like a whole thing. It's a whole business where they travel around California, and they like safely get your dog familiar with rattlesnakes. That way, if they encounter them out in the wild, they know stay the fuck away. That thing's not to be played with, you know, because that's
Damn.
dangerous.
So how do you safely encounter your dog with the rattlesnake?
They're like it's like people that like orchestrate this, you know, like there's someone like walking Mo over to the rattlesnake and then like, you know, get like pushes a button so he knows not to go closer to the rattlesnake, and then like the next one, like it's like a whole
So, like,
charade.
where's the snake in this scenario? I mean, do they have? I'm assuming it's in a thing,
They
right?
have there's like snake handlers, like men, like I say men. There were men doing it. There could be women doing it, but there was a man like handling the snakes.
But like they just have the snake just out there.
Yeah, the snake's just out there. A snake's just out there. The guy puts the snake out there. Mo is like aware of the snake, doesn't go near the snake because he's a smart boy, remembers, no. And yeah, he did a great job. So that is, definitely the intention. We want to keep our dog safe from rattlesnakes. If you're in an area, listeners, first of all, thank you for listening. If you're in an area with rattlesnakes, maybe consider rattlesnake training with your dogs.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. I guess I've never been to a place that has rattlesnakes. That's probably why, but that's like a new thing I've heard.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. But Mo did a great job. And so, James, you're privy to this because you found out when you came to Fresno to visit me. My husband and like friends that we hang out with like rock climb. So they, rock climbs, went out to the mountains, whatever, did their thing, and I just like chilled with the dogs. So it was really nice to get like outdoors and outside into nature and all that good stuff. I haven't been out there since my wedding.
Were you scared to like be near the rattlesnake?
No, I wasn't, because they were like I said, it's like a whole like thing. Like tents are set up. Like imagine like a little mini Coachella, but just like for like rattlesnake training. Like it's just like, I don't know, you're being like signed in. There are people that are like uber nice to you and like walking your dog and telling you what to do with your dog in case like shit gets real,
Yeah, I love snakes, but like being around a rattlesnake would just I don't know, I'd be bugging out the whole time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're not like that close. Like we're far enough away where like unfortunately Mo gets close, but there's like someone like a professional with him that like tells him what's good, but like I'm far enough away from the rattlesnake where I guess I'm not really nervous about them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess could they still fuck me up from afar? Someone in the chat, could a rattlesnake fuck me up from afar? Let me know.
No,
Like if
it's got to be a
shoot their
bite.
poison and hit you in your eye, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they got some like reach to them, but like not that much.
Not
reach.
it's gonna like bite. I think like with the fangs, it need to be up to, I don't know, like in feet, but maybe like 3 meters. It depending how.
Yeah, I was
how
far
big is
enough.
the-
Like I was
They-
not that close.
They coil and
Bats this
snap.
year.
You guys have seen
Bats
natural.
this year that they train her dog with. They do alligator training.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, they call it should.
Oh,
Is it
it's feeding time. I should have
Oh.
read the rest of the message.
It's feeding time. That's hilarious. Yeah, maybe a little different with rattlesnake training. Just a tad different.
That's funny. This is why I got to read the rest of the comments before I say.
So it was a nice weekend outside, essentially. We stayed in like an Airbnb that was kind of like a little tree house. It was super cute in like a really rural area. So it was just adorable. Anyone that's listening to this podcast on like YouTube or whatever, just pause it and like step outside. That's it.
Yeah, step outside.
Step outside.
I mean, I got the sunburns to prove how long I was outside yesterday.
Nice. I'm sunburned on my chest. I won't. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, I'm sunburned too.
On
was-
Father's Day,
Well,
everybody's
Hot Girl
sitting
Summer's here.
outside. I love it.
Yeah. Well, how's your Father's Day, Ben, or your weekend? How's it hanging in Tennessee?
Well, I've been.
I'm seeing you tomorrow.
What? Yeah, I'm gonna be there tomorrow. I'm gonna be there tomorrow for a couple of nights of Grateful Dead out at City Field, with an old buddy of mine, Mark Orphanides, which is gonna be very nice. I can say both his name because it's very Greek and no one will ever remember it because it's very long. But no, pretty good. We met up with Dad yesterday. We moved an old car off of like Jen's old car from when we first moved down here, right? Dad was like, "I'll sell it for you over at the store, but we got to figure out how to get it over to the store." So it's very convoluted, but he knows an auto dealer who gave him auto dealer tags for for the weekend. So he gets the tags, he brings it over. We go through a little bit of rigmarole, and we get it up and running, and we take it over to Dad's store. So that was most of yesterday morning. And then today I met up with him for Father's Day round 2, where at a rental property we have an old deck that they had built on this rental property, right? Cute little spot. But some of the boards are going bad. And the more we really looked at it, more of the boards are worse than we thought. So today I spent the afternoon replacing decking with Dad. And when I get back from this round of Grateful Dead shows, I get to finish out their deck. So go team.
Hey.
As a result, though, of all of that, I also start on our deck. Dad was like, I'll basically like today he was like, I'll trade you decking.
Your deck, like your house deck?
Yeah. You know the murder house?
The one, it's the wait, your actual house, the one with the broken step, or the one we?
Oh no, bro. My actual house, it's sort of falling apart where the decking is falling apart. Yeah. We're gonna start on some of that. Pops was like, I'll trade you decking for time. So he's gonna get us some wood, and basically I'm gonna redo the deck on that house just to show him I can redo the deck on my house. And then he's gonna help with some supplies, and we're gonna start sort of moving forward with some of that.
Damn, well, sick. I'm excited to see the new deck.
Oh, I'm not in the slightest excited for it, but I am. It's one of those things where it's like it's desperately needed at this point. like I'll just tell you this. I went outside the other day, sat down in the chair, and a chunk came out, and I ended up like ass over elbows on the deck because the nobody ever treated it, and they put the boards on wrong. So, do you guys know about decking? Leo, I know it's like we're coming up to the end of your run with us. So, can I tell you about decking?
Sure. Can you keep it to like 3 minutes?
I got 2 on it. I got a hard 2 on it. So here's the deal: if you look at your boards and you look at the grain of the board, all right, you'll notice that in where the tree circle is, because you know how trees have rings in them. Yeah. Okay. So once you slide that across the thing, right, and it cuts out, you'll notice the arc of the wood on the edge of your plank. Okay. So if you're looking down like a 1x6 or a 2x6 or whatever, you'll notice the rings of the tree on it. Now, there's only 2 ways that board can flip, on its back or on its, it can only flip one of 2 ways. If those rings are going like this, if they're going like from rainbow style instead of U style, if they go rainbow style, that's what you want. If you put them on your deck U style, what ends up happening is as the rain comes in, if it's untreated, like that rain will pool in and around the bottom of the U's in those rings and will sit.
So like waterlog it?
It'll waterlog it and it'll lead to rot. So you want to make it the U style. So then that way it doesn't penetrate as much. And what it does, it can continue down those rings like a little gutter.
Wow, look at that. So there you go. Facts for anyone out there who's trying to build a deck.
Just so you know.
Out there in the
make sure it's
YouTube.
Rainbow versus U.
There you go. Ben's gonna drop some building deck tutorial soon on the YouTube channel.
Listen,
for everybody.
It may come to that. If you look at the Fantasy Shed / Total Toonular YouTube and you start seeing some decking, like really send love, because I've lost my mind at that point. I've officially gone insane. I've hit a weird spot.
I've hit a weird spot.
Yeah. Isn't it like ironic on decking? Is like the wood that actually get penetrated?
When the wood gets
just to put it there.
This is why I'm gonna miss you, Leo.
Yeah, Leo, how's it going on your second episode of your final tour?
It's going. It's like it's sad, but a lot happening at the same time. This weekend we're like all over. I feel like I spent way more money than I should spend this last week too, with buying equipment and going out on a weekend. It was fun. We watched the Flash on Saturday.
Yeah,
it was like a interesting movie. I like the story, but like we were mentioned earlier before we start recording, the CG was a little rushed. I don't know.
To me, I mean, the CG didn't bother me as much. It was actually more of the story. I feel like the middle of it. I'm not gonna spoil nothing, nor do I want to get into a full review. But I mean, the middle of it kind of felt kind of useless to me.
No, it just feel like that was like a lot of fingers on that movie for many years with a lot of different
Yeah, I mean,
reasons.
they come out
Wait,
like 3 years ago, like pre-pandemic, and then pandemic fucked
And-
it up, and then
And
even
then
another
James
year,
Gunn
even
got
delayed.
the whole thing officialized, and then he
Yeah.
probably did some changes he wanted to. I don't know. It's like a lot happening all over.
how many people fingered the Flash?
A lot of people finger the Flash. And then
Everyone.
one thing, I'm sorry, like I don't think it's that much of a spoiler, but there's like a thing that he said to a character. I guess like if I say like this, it won't make a difference. But like at one point he tell a character like you should seek mental health, and I was like, huh, that's ironic too. Like Ezra Miller
Wait,
telling
Ezra
people.
Miller's character said that to someone else? Yeah, it's like,
It's like a pot calling the kettle black, right? Like that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, besides the Flash, how else was your week? You said you went out.
yeah,
Go anywhere else?
we had like a party yesterday. We went to a restaurant, then we went to a bar on Hell's Kitchen that was like fun too. Um, so another thing,
Man, everybody was out this weekend. Everybody was out.
I
doing
know.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make James drop me off at a bar in Hell's Kitchen on Tuesday. You can take.
I mean, you can walk to a bar in Bushwick.
You can leave me at Rudy's for hot dogs.
it wasn't Rudy's,
I mean, you-
but it did have like a lot of winners there.
Hey, you can always go to the Myrtle Pub down the street. They got free hot dogs and same price as
Oh
Rudy's.
no shit.
For
Okay,
beer.
done.
Yeah,
Done.
they have like free popcorn too. I like that.
And free popcorn. Yeah.
Oh wait, I know that bar because of a story a friend of the show, Hall of Toonie Reeves, told me. Is that the one that he's not allowed back at?
I mean, he's not not officially not allowed back yet, but definitely had to take a break for a while.
Also, I don't know if it is only that bar either, but like,
Yeah, that's for Reeves to talk about.
yeah, but like now I'm trying to figure out also what I'm gonna do with my extra free time when I live. And I was thinking like, if I start working out, maybe I can use some of the nights that I'm not recording anymore to be a stripper. And then I Google like places I could be a stripper, and then this place show up like called Chippendale. I was like, oh, okay.
I was like, where the actual fuck is this going? Got it.
That I'm
I
gonna
want to talk about Chippendales because
make.
I didn't know about the fucked up story behind Chippendales as as a company until this
the
year.
Hulu
Because there
show?
was that show that came out.
What was the story?
Yeah,
Give me
man,
a brief
that-
synopsis.
Well, I mean, so there's this Indian dude who wanted to start his own business. So he opens up this male strip club, and then he hires this. I think he was a director or gay coordinator, like a gay dancer. But he was like this gay man that he had hired who got coordinated all the dances for all the Chippendales. And long story short, they had a bunch of creative differences, and eventually he hired him to kill him. He hired somebody to kill his
Wow.
partner, the Indian guy, and then he ended up getting arrested for it and killing himself, and company went bankrupt. And all
Okay,
that.
I'm
Oh,
not gonna
So it
work
was
there
like
anymore. Never mind.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, Leo, you deserve better. You deserve.
And there's also stories of racism and all this shit. There's really this crazy dark stories behind Chippendales. It seems like
wow.
also one of the most fun clubs ever.
And all anybody can really ever put together with that club is the SNL sketch.
Yes.
With
That's the only thing.
Oh,
Pat
right.
Swayze. Yeah,
Right.
Fucking
Which classic.
I mean-
SNL.
amazing. But can we just really take 2 seconds to soak in what is one of the most beautiful and last solid transitions we'll be getting there? That is
Yeah,
Thank you.
that was amazing.
let's bask in that glory for a moment.
Smooth one.
Very smooth.
But we're not talking about Chippendales, the club. We're talking about Chippendales Rescue
But the
Rangers.
club is also
not
in the
even
movie,
the
though.
original.
Yeah.
It is in the movie, but not even the original Chippendales Rescue Rangers. the new Chippendales Rescue
The better
Rangers
one.
reboot made by the Lonely Island. I don't know. Has anyone seen the original Chippendales
Yes.
show?
I watched it religiously, like after school. Yeah.
I never watched as
I
Chippendales,
feel like
though. In Brazil, they have a different name.
Yeah.
What's their name?
It's called
You can't.
Chico
what-
Iteco.
That's
That's
really
Chip and
cool.
Dale. Yeah.
That's
One is called Chico, the
That's
other
not-
called Teco.
That's a really cool title. I want that to be my name. I think I'm gonna change my name to that.
Oh, I thought Erin, she thought I said like taco and nacho. I don't know. She just said like something weird. But yeah, that's the name. Like the last dog I had name was Chico, so I just was missing another one to be Teco. But yeah, that's the name. Sorry, James, I cut you.
No, but I've never watched. I mean, I kind of remember this. Like I know the Indiana Jones looking, chipmunk looking people, but I couldn't tell you a single episode.
Oh, I mean,
without
I
the
couldn't
OG.
either, but like it was all kind of a blur. But I remember like the song, like Chip and Dale Rescue Ranger, da, 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 da. Like that. I fucking remember by heart.
See, I don't know the song at all.
Oh shit!
Oh, wow.
I remember the I just rewatched it not too long ago because like low-key I go on these weird sort of Disney Plus kind of kicks on like those old cartoons. Like the setup for Rescue Rangers is kind of funny because if I remember correctly, it starts off in the tree. So you really learn in the movie how they met, but in the show it's just like they're buddies, and the next thing you know they're rescue rangers.
And is it a lot like supposed to be like Indiana Jones? Does it like play like an Indiana Jones?
I mean, sort of, kind of, but not really.
They're
Like
kind of
they actually
detectives.
reference it. Yeah, they reference it better in the film more so than anything. They're like, oh, it's always the police chief. It's always like corrupt power as opposed to anything. Whereas like Indiana Jones, I feel, what do you call it? The one with Baloo, that was the after school show, Tailspin. Do you guys remember Tailspin at all?
No.
No.
So when I was a kid, it was always like Tailspin, Chippendales, and then I want to say Darkwing was in there somewhere. But there were like 4 Disney cartoons, and I forget what the 4th. I think that one rotated out. I think at one point it was Gargoyles, and then there was like another one. But
Was
anyway,
it DuckTales?
huh?
DuckTales?
It may have been DuckTales for a while. Absolutely, yeah. But regardless, there were 4 Disney cartoons that would come on Fox after school, and that was your 3 to 5 p.m. block. And then Mama's Family started at 5, and I was a whore for Mama's Family, but that's a whole other podcast. But like Rescue Rangers was top notch, and no, it wasn't as much Indiana Jones. That was more like Tailspin. That was more of the Jungle Booky spinoff one, was more Indiana Jones. Yeah.
I think they did essentially what they did in this one, where they just like solved, missions, whatever. Like someone's in danger and they go ahead and, rescue them.
Yeah. Very much so.
So, as meta as this movie is, how does it relate to the show at all?
Well, I mean, the whole thing relates to the show. What are you talking about? Like the fact that they reference it the way that they do in this episode. This is how we did this. You know what I mean? Oh, here's episode 45 or whatever, where we have to dip beneath the lasers and all of that.
The
Like,
TV
we're-
show takes itself much more seriously, like where this whole movie is very tongue-in-cheek and like meta, as you were saying, and references itself. The TV show was very like, this is exactly what this is. What you see is what you get. Take itself very seriously.
Yeah.
Just like cute kids.
And always
like
end
that.
with that dumb joke that everybody's like, ha ha ha, and it's just stupid, and everybody laugh for no reason.
Yeah.
But that's I feel like that's also like every fucking kids
Oh
cartoon.
no, yeah, like
that did
Scooby Doo,
anything.
like Rude Dog, like on any of those shows,
Yeah.
it's like a joke that
Yeah,
make no
bunch of
sense.
shows like
Let's
that.
laugh until like I don't know, freeze frame.
It's like we ended the episode at 21 minutes and 30 seconds, and we still have 45 seconds to hit 22:15. So for that last 45 seconds, everybody has to laugh.
Kind of genius.
All that is.
Good way to fill
is
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, are any of you guys Lonely Island fans?
Hell
Yeah.
Popstar is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, I gotta
Oh,
see
is-
that one. I know what you're talking about. I like what's that other one where they're like Hot Rod?
Uh,
Oh, Hot Rod's amazing too. Yeah, I mean, I love most of Andy Samberg stuff. Most recently, he has an animated show that's awful. It's like an Indiana Jones ripoff cartoon,
Oh.
and
That
it's
stinks.
so fucking
that was like
bad.
the
What-
I
brothers
hate
that
it.
we watch.
What was the Freak Brothers? Yeah. What was the very bad Andy Samberg and Adam Sandler movie?
Oh, that he's like his dad.
Oh,
That's My Boy?
That's my boy.
That's my boy.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Have
that
you
was pretty bad. But that's
Have
not
you
Lonely
guys
Island
watched
thing.
their pilot for the TV show they try to make, Awesome Town?
No.
I remember watching this in Brazil.
That's
I think it's like 1 or 2 episodes they have, and it's kind of like sketch comedy kind of show, and then they have like a intro music that takes like forever, and then they have like a bunch of like random Lonely Island sketch. I think they just try to make whatever they did in SNL, but like the whole show.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I've never heard of it. I remember seeing some weird, like, they put out like a short / music video / like mockumentary. I think on Netflix once. It was like a baseball thing,
Oh,
but it's them
Yes.
with Jon Snow.
like singing for the entire thing. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Something Days in Hell, like a few days in hell. That was really
And-
good.
I
With
can't
Kit
remember.
Harington.
It was like kind of based off real people, but not really. Like, you know.
And there was
I
a
don't know.
tennis
That-
one they did too, right?
That's the one I'm
Or at
thinking
least
of.
that
the
Andy
tennis one.
Samberg was in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a tennis one. Yeah, I never saw it. I know what you're talking about. I never
Let me
seen
look
that.
it up because I've seen that and it's pretty funny. 7 Days in Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining. I wonder if it's still on Max because it was an HBO. Yeah, it seems like it's on Hulu. I'm sure you could find it streaming somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out later. Yeah, I remember in high school, man, when I'm on a boat came out. I mean, that was the hit
Yeah.
of that. I played that shit everywhere. It annoyed everybody.
Yeah, that
So-
was a winner.
I
And,
sent on a chat like the pilot for Awesome Town. It's from 2005.
Oh,
if
thank
you
you.
guys want to check, it's really awful quality. Just to let you know.
So Jen and I, and trust me, this ties in. Jen and I started listening to This Is Important. Are you guys familiar with that at all?
No.
Nope.
It's the dudes from Workaholics.
Oh, I have actually listened to this. I have.
It's their podcast, but the reason why I bring it up is because they're huge Lonely Island marks, right? All of them. Huge. And
That's crazy. They work with those guys,
well, now, but the thing is, when they were starting out, Lonely Island was a huge influence on mail order comedy, right? Because they were like, how do we make YouTube work for us? How do we get involved? And so they even went to Harmon and Schraub's thing, Channel 101, to do a few things, right? Because they'd seen Lonely Island do some Channel 101 stuff before they hit big with like SNL and before Sandberg went big and all of that stuff. Yeah. Huge marks. Huge marks. And the best story that Adam Devine tells is one night Jillian from Workaholics was writing for SNL. She invited all the guys to an SNL after party, and fucking Adam is yelling at Sandberg because it's very loud. He's like, I'm Adam. And the guy's like, no, I'm Andy. And he's like, I know you're Andy. I'm Adam. And he's like, I'm not Adam. I'm Andy. And they almost got into a fist fight because Andy Samberg thought Adam Devine was making fun of him because so many people would come up to Andy Samberg and call him Adam.
Oh.
Like legit problem to a point to where Andy Samberg had to, through managers and fucking publicists, like apologize to Adam Devine for almost starting a fight.
Jeez.
Seriously.
That's so weird. It seems like that could be solved with Adam Devine's being like, "Oh no, dude, I know your name's Andy Samberg. I'm Adam Devine of
Well,
Workaholics. Please Google me right now."
No, that's what they were trying to do, but it was in a club at an after party, and nobody could hear anyone, and
They're probably
everybody
under
just
a
got
lot of
pissed,
influences.
and nobody was going to go
And plus-
outside to be rational.
Yeah, there's a lot of like lacking rationality in that conversation for sure.
It's hysterical. It's one of the greatest things I've ever heard in my life.
And how else do you know publicists stay
I mean,
employed,
really,
right?
that's what they have to do is apologize for famous people. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's what they're paid for. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved Lonely Island. I mean, that was one of the few things. I mean, you know, the big things with me and Leo when I first met him was always Star Wars superheroes, and then it was Lonely Island that we listened to and talk about during Shitstorm all the time.
You guys know Please Don't Destroy also? Like the new Lonely Island on SNL?
Oh, Please Don't Destroy.
No.
The new? What are you talking
There's
about?
like these three guys that they only show for this one sketch. Maybe on SNL it happens, sometimes it don't. Like they were on YouTube before too. But excuse me. Usually it's like more like funny the SNL ones than their YouTube channel. But it's like the same vibe. It's like Lonely Island, they have like fast cuts. And it's always like the SNL ones I really appreciate, like all the sketches they have there. I always think it's like really funny. But it's like the same. It's like basically the new Lonely Island. Like they do like a better quality sketch. It's not like something they do in live. It's like something pre-recorded, and it's just funny. I feel like they make it look like if they're the writers of SNL. The way it usually starts, like always in the writing room kind of thing. They have like an office, and there's always like something happening. It's always like a shit show. You guys should check that out. Please Don't Destroy.
I'll check it out. Well, I'm sure there are no Lonely
I know,
Island. I mean, Leo, do you got a favorite Lonely Island song?
Fuck. Like the first one I ever listened was the Jack Sparrow one. But like I used to love I Just Had Sex, but then with the Pop Star movie, I really like I'm So Humble. That's like one of my favorite ones.
I'm so humble. Or like, well, what's the one where like what is that? I just had sex. It was like, oh, the Bin Laden song.
Which one?
The Bin Laden song. Like, we just fuck Bin
Oh
Laden.
yeah. That was
Not familiar with that
I
one.
actually the last one when they make like the whole big epic song, I kind of like that one too. And then they have
Yeah, Pop Star is amazing. Like I was saying before that this is like Chippendales movie is the perfect double feature with Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Pop Star is the perfect double feature with Dewey Cox.
Oh my god, I
Walk
love
Hard.
Dewey Cox.
If you love a Dewey Cox, Pop Star is like the perfect
I don't know if
I
sequel
watched
because
that.
it's like that modern era of music. You know, it's about the pop star, like the Justin Bieber type instead of the Johnny Cash,
Oh,
like
gotcha.
old rock star
Cool.
role type.
That's definitely a good song.
And some of the same actors crossover, but yeah, it's so funny. It's like one of my favorite. Like I remember watching it, and I was like, this movie looks so dumb initially because I was like, I don't know, you know, fuck Justin Bieber and all that shit. So I was like, why would I want to watch all this movie? And then I remember the reviews came out for it, and I watched it, and yeah, I never laughed that hard.
I remember watching the theater, and the thing like I don't want to give like a lot of the movie because Nicole haven't watched, but one thing I love is like how literally they got all the famous people to play themselves, like all people in the music industry, but Justin Timberlake that plays like a chef or whatever.
He plays their shit, right? And he tries to sing, and they're like, "Nah, you suck."
No, he's
Shut
like,
up, don't-
you're
that's
not a
amazing.
professional. You need to let the professionals sing. Shut the fuck up.
My favorite one where he's like when he's like he accidentally gets pantsed or like he's doing the changing clothes on stage and then he's butt ass naked. And he was like, I've been on. They're like, don't worry, you were only on naked on stage for 30 seconds. He was like, that's like a third of a way to Mars. He was like, I keep telling you that's a band, not an even minute of time.
I like in the right beginning of the movie when they introduce in the movie playing "I'm So Humble," and then like Mariah Carey show up. It's like I love this music. It represents me so much. Like they make her making fun of herself.
So silly.
It's a really good movie. I like that. Like all the
No,
soundtrack,
fuck-
even the music that didn't make to the movie. I don't know if you heard those two. There's like one that he teach kids how to tell their parents to fuck off. There's-
Oh, there's the one where it's like things in my
Yeah.
Jeep, and he's just like listing off things that just exist. in
and
his
and it's
car.
them with Linkin Park. No.
Oh, Linkin Park's in it. Yeah, R.P.
Yeah.
Chester.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
No,
But yeah, what
Popstar.
involvement? Because Andy Samberg, I didn't catch his voice until my Andy, my husband, pointed out.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. No, I didn't. I remember, and now that I remember you last week saying it was Lonely Island. Like last week feels like a billion years ago. I don't even fucking know. So yeah, what other involvement did Lonely Island have?
Well, one of the guys in the group, I always say his
Oh.
name wrong. It's like
It's,
Akiva.
it's like
I-
Akiva, the director.
Yeah, he directed the movie, and the third guy also has another voice.
Yorma
somewhere in
was Batman on the like short time they show like Batman with
Yeah.
some I forgot who was with Batman.
Wow.
They've been trying to make this movie. If I looked it up a week ago, they've been trying to make this movie for a while. And originally, it looked like they were just trying. But I know this movie was like a fucking copyright nightmare.
Oh yeah.
There's probably more lawyers on this movie than probably like any movie.
Why? Any ideas?
Oh, because
What
of
was it?
all the
Yeah,
characters
all the-
from
all the
not just
properties
Disney.
they touch.
Yeah, it's like things from all over. It's not just Disney characters. And even if it's just
Oh,
Disney
right.
characters, they're still gonna have a hard time.
Gotcha. I thought you meant like
I mean, Randy Martin.
like this property, like Chippendale, but that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Yeah, they touch everything in here.
From when I've read, I saw some interview with the Keep, and he said that how they got the job was that they made a short film with someone who does like Seth Rogen's mocap, and I think it's like I didn't look for it or even know where it is, but there's a short they made to get this movie made to be like, hey, we can do this like this way. and
Dude,
shit.
Seth Rogen was pretty great in this too.
Honestly, though, you know what? And this movie makes fun of it. Like, I'm fucking over Seth Rogen voice acting.
Oh,
Like-
they do make fun of it.
I'm-
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I saw fucking Mario, and then all these other characters they show him in here, and then and the character he plays in this, he's just playing Seth Rogen. Like, Seth Rogen's funny. I love Seth Rogen, but I'm tired of his voice acting.
Because his
Because
voice
it's
is always
just
him. He
nothing.
can make different
It's
voice.
just him. It's
Yeah.
never. It's never like he's trying to find a character or put himself into a role. Like he's just become being Seth Rogen.
Yeah. And sometimes it's funny. Like, I don't know, initially it's funny. Or like having Seth Rogen as Pumbaa, like, sure, that sounds like a good casting. But now he's just voice acting all these characters, and it's just
Yeah,
like,
you know,
he's doing anything different.
it stood out in that rebooted Lion King because he and Billy Eichner were the only good parts of that movie. I don't fucking care what anyone else says. Everyone else in that movie
I never even watched that one.
could go take a hike. Don't watch it. So in that respect, it works. And like I liked Seth Rogen's character in this. It felt a little bit more tongue in cheek. But yeah,
Yeah.
I agree that generally it's like, okay, I don't know, we've heard this before again and again.
Yeah, I mean, mostly I'm bitching more about the Mario movie than this movie, is because now it's just like it feels like a constant thing that's just now I'm just starting to realize
No.
and find annoying.
Well, it's what he does.
Like,
The other thing that bugged me about, I guess, sort of Seth Rogen in this is that like the character just looks like him.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's just
Mhm.
like, oh, I'll just be me.
I thought that was the
Yeah, like,
goof,
What?
but no.
Yeah, but well, I don't know. I don't know what the
I
thing's
wish it
supposed
did
to
look
be.
more like an actual Lord of the, I wish it looked like an actual character from like World of
Oh.
Warcraft.
Right.
All right.
Like,
All right.
But I do like the uncanny thing that they do poke
Yeah,
fun
no.
of, where he's like looking one direction, and they're like, "We can't tell if you're looking at me
which,
Yeah.
because the CPU can't look in that certain direction."
So that's the thing. This is a perfect point where you could have brought in Xavier from Renegade Angel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Xavier cameo would have been sick.
Would have
Yes.
been amazing, because and that's the other fun thing they do is there's some very adult stuff that gets sort of sprinkled through, like we referenced it earlier with the actual like Chippendales, like quick flash of male
You open up,
strippers.
like, you remember Chippendales, right? And then it's like, no, not
Oh
that.
no, but then
Chippendales.
in the
Right.
future he's also working there. when he's like, "Oh, I have a play later today."
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He's a dancer.
It's like the movie on the whole like is really really good, and there are parts to like sort of nitpick at, but to me in the very beginning, like one of the best parts is when Chip is coming home from his horrible job as an accountant, and you've got this like light jazz sort of playing as he's walking into the apartment, and then he takes his headphones off and you hear that he's listening to Lamb of God, and it's
So what do you think that says about his character? I mean, you think he's secretly just upset and annoyed that he's listening to Lamb
with
of God?
life. Yes, I mean like to a degree yes, and then to a degree no. I actually think it's a really sort of an eye-opening thing to the notion of who and what metalheads actually are, like over the course of time.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's true.
Because they can be mellow dudes that are just fucking accountants, mellow dudes, mellow ladies, mellow whomevers, listening to what they're listening to as they go along their lives. And sure, they'll be walking down the street, waving at the neighbor. Hi, how's it going? Okay, yeah, great. And you
In their ears, it's just like way too rough.
so good. It's so good. And then when those buds come out of his head, and you're like, "What the fuck is that?"
And I love that he also has a normal sized dog.
I'm friends with a dog.
Isn't it like weird how in that world they have like every item they create, they need to create various size of it because like was like Dale has a car that's like human size, but then Chip was like, you can get like a regular size for you. You don't need to get this car. So if you imagine like you have like chipmunks, but then you have like cows, you have like I don't know ducks, like all different creatures that would be different sizes. Or even when they spot there was like what like a rhino or something on a tub or whatever. So it's like weird how like they need like a house for each size, like a car for each size. Or the headphones
you're
where
right.
he was listening to metal. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to get smaller
They
headphones.
really had to consider everything. Yeah, you're right. For all the
So-
different tunes and people and stuff.
I also think the movie does something really interesting with Dale overall, right? And I think it says something about sort of culture in general, and it's kind of heavy, or at least the way I interpreted it was sort of heavy. You look at like, and I don't know how to say this without it sounding rude, and it'll just sound rude, and I really don't care. It's fine. It's so okay. Like this notion of like former and continued kind of push for celebrity, or the notion of social versus real life. Do you know what I mean? So
Sure.
you look at Dale, and Dale is pushing the comic book circuit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to keep himself
Like
relevant
every
in some way.
person that
Make
show
some-
up 1 second Star Wars, the rest of their life they go to the convention inside. Like I was the arm
And so,
on
like-
this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What besides the best cameo, which is the Ugly
Yep.
Sonic, in that Comic-Con place, there's the other girl, the Tiger girl,
Tigra?
right? She's a real Tigra. She's a real cartoon character, and what makes it so awesome is that she's on it's a 90s or early 2000s Avengers show, like animated show. It was around the same time as Spider-Man, called Avengers United We Stand, or United something, but it's notoriously terrible, and lasted a season, but also has like a cult following. So then it's like, of course, this person in this real life world would be the one at the Comic-Con conventions, because there's a cult fandom around it, but also it sucks and nobody really watches
Oh, wow.
it. So it's like,
yeah, that's well.
so they
oh,
could have
that's-
totally made up somebody, but they literally have a character like that could be in real life would be
It's
that
like-
person
it's like
at a convention.
I don't want to shit on them because I like The Office, but like The Office people who is not like Steve Carell or John Krasinski that is doing like bigger stuff. Everybody go to every especially post pandemic that people start rewatching again. They keep doing
Yep.
like those experience, and everybody that you don't see on anything else, they keep just doing this.
And you know what? If I was there for anything that was famous, like I would do that forever.
Yeah.
If that's my job, I just got to go to conventions and sign
Uh-huh.
It's like
autographs.
Me too.
like the Power Rangers, like any of those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the big thing there though, and I guess where I put it, and it's largely because it's what I'm kind of dealing with and what I have been dealing with and things that that I've been told. So like I equated it less to like Comic Cons to more to like horror conventions, right? Because when we were getting ready to do the movie,
They're not too far off from
No,
each
they're the
other.
same
Yeah,
fucking
similar
thing.
type of ideas, right?
Same fucking thing. So when I was getting into casting on Were Deer, and this I won't mention any names because it's wildly inappropriate, but there was a role that we were looking at, and a former big star had reached out, who was actually weirdly sort of trauma adjacent, was like, oh, I see you're making this movie, you know, I'd be interested in reading for a part, blah blah blah. And I had talked to Lloyd about it, and he was like, yeah, so and so is probably great, you know, for their age, but here are all the negatives in doing this. What you should do is find somebody without a name, discover somebody, make it your own thing. And then Lloyd went on to be like, I don't know why everybody fucking wants all these stupid old people in their shit. He went on to be like,
He says that as he's also in everybody's shit all the time.
thing, sure, but at the same time, like it was arguably one of the better decisions that we made was to like skip past that, you know, get over the notion of like, yes, this used to be a name. Do you really think that's going to help you do anything? If not, find somebody new, give somebody else a chance. Let this person hit their horror convention circuits or whatever. And like I took that to heart. Like I really, really took that to heart. I'll tell you guys offline who it was, because I also think it's extremely funny with who it was. But what really struck me was Dale at the beginning, as he's like live streaming on his Instagram or Facebook or whatever it was. And he's like, you hear all that applause, blah, blah, blah. And then he cuts it right before they announce who it's actually for. Yeah. And then they're all like, so bro, you're just faking the funk for your followers? That's what you're doing? You want them to believe like that's for you?
Even non-famous people, that's like social media in general. Like it's always like you put like the embellish life that it's not necessary. Like I don't know, like if you sometimes I haven't really traveled for vacation so many years, but every time I go on a weekend somewhere and then I only post this, people think I'm traveling all the time.
Because it's your last like month's worth of post, but it's only like 3 posts. yeah, I get it.
I gotta say, like, there's a couple things not that anyone's disagreeing with this, but just like mentioning other sides of things, I guess. So a few years ago, I went to an more independent horror convention called Scaricon, and it was kind of cool. Like I met the lead actor of Chucky, like the kid in the movie, like Child's Play, and it was kind of cool. Like so when I saw Child's Play actually for the first time, I like cried because I felt so sorry for the kid, and I actually was like able to tell the actor that, which like that is kind of cool. It's like he's not really like that's like his whole life. Like clearly he's like an adult now, and his whole life has been going to these conventions. But like I don't know, it's kind of fucking cool to be like, dude, like your performance like nearly made me cry. Like that's awesome. Like here, I'm gonna take a photo with you, and whatever. Like good work. And like. Oh yeah.
Like, I think we've all sort of had those kind of moments, right? Like 110%. Like I agree. There are folks that I've met at conventions. I've gone to conventions too. You know what I'm saying?
It's cool. Yeah.
Right. And it's no judgment I guess sort of on the lifestyle or how you choose to make your living and all of that. What I guess what I'm trying to say is what I found really, really interesting in this is like the level of the onion layers, to call back to Shrek,
Yeah, good point.
that they really kind of peeled back because they didn't pull punches, they didn't try to sugarcoat it. They actually gave a very accurate sort of representation of.
There's like with the candle when he actually burns his $5 bill.
Oh yeah, that was
he was
awesome.
Like, I really need that
Maybe
money.
my favorite cameo, actually. Yeah, yeah, and that's a good point, James. The line was, "I really actually need that money." Yeah, dude, I don't know. Celebrity's really interesting. Like that is a very like to be. I don't know. Like I've been watching a lot of like Nightmare on Elm Street movies. You know, so like imagine being in like
those guys all over the convention.
yeah,
circuit.
like imagine
all
your
those
claim to fame is being like whatever in like Nightmare of Elm Street 6. Like there are people that are so into seeing you for that one movie for your entire life.
I mean, there's well, what's her name? Felissa
Yeah,
Rose?
for Sleepaway Camp.
Like, yeah, she did Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah, when
once.
she was a kid.
Then,
Like Golden.
Yeah.
Like what? Like that is I don't know. But you're right that this movie exactly captures.
Or
And
even
a
the
very
whole
sweet-
Peter Pan thing too. Like it show like the people that is a child actor that they're like, okay, you're not a child anymore. Fuck. Like, I don't know. We can go through all like the Sixth Sense kid, or the Star Wars Anakin from Episode 1, or Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle. Like, where all those kids
Let's
are.
leave Anakin out of this because he you want to see him, you'll see him in jail, not at a convention.
Oh,
right?
he's in jail.
Like,
I don't even know.
yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Anakin had a bad run, bro.
I don't know what you know
But
this
like
is.
Anakin murdered kids on Episode 3, so like the actor was just method acting.
Hayden Christensen is going through a hard time.
No. Christensen was from Episode 2.
No,
The Episode
I'm
1
talking
was like
about
a child before.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Okay, because I was gonna. Okay.
Yeah.
It was
And
a
that
time jump.
bullied into doing drugs.
Oof.
The little kid Anakin.
Or even
is
like
the-
Macaulay Culkin, like how long he was away because of all the messed up. Like he was like the hottest shit on the 90s. Every movie you need like a kid was Macaulay Culkin, and then he grew up a
Well, it's
little. They're like, okay, like I don't know, like all that shit happened.
It's so sad. I mean, I could talk about like. So I recommended this show. Whatever. This will be a really quick tangent. This is whatever. Like, sounds like a cult is a podcast I recommend on Totally Recommend This Dude, and they go into the cult of like child stardom. That sounds like the worst fucking thing ever to be a child star. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
what?
horrible. Yeah, you're just trying to be a kid, and you're like, man, being in a TV show is fun, and then you got cameras in your face
And
all
it's
the
like
time.
work.
People trying to touch
Everything you do,
taking
people
your money.
judge you.
Yeah,
Like
you're
growing up
You're
is
put
when
to
you
work.
make mistakes to learn, but like you can't make
And-
mistakes to learn because
Have-
everybody's on your business.
And then, like you said, Leo, you're spat out by the time you're like not adorable anymore, like Macaulay Culkin, and you're like, oh, now I'm supposed to figure out my life. Like after all these years of being in the public eye and getting paid as a working person, now I'm 20 something and figure out. It's so depressing.
Have you guys seen Amanda Bynes recently?
Oh well, she's
She
the
had, like, a
poster
whole-
child for
a whole
like no
thing, right?
wonder the poor.
I mean, last time I heard, she was running naked around Los
Oh,
Angeles.
it's so far beyond that, bro. Like beyond the face tattoo and the drugs and everything else. Like she's one that you genuinely can like feel sorry for because you understand what was going on inside like the Nickelodeon system,
Right.
like Dan
Right.
Schneider and everybody else at that point in time. Like you can feel genuinely bad for her.
Yep. And there's
Where-
a no. Oh, sorry, my bad.
No. Whereas like some of these folks, like let's suggest, like let's say a Felissa Rose, because Felissa did Sleepaway Camp. Absolutely, it's the one thing that as she has gotten older, she continued to act. She continued to be in these other things. She still does, and she hits these circuits. What makes me sad for someone like Felissa Rose is that she's done all this other work, but all anybody can talk about is what she did when she was 14.
That's a good point. Like, there's so many other. Like, I always think about the Brady Bunch members, like the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're known as Marsha Brady forever.
Right. And that's a terrible notion because of the additional work that they've done. And like Felissa throughout the course of time. Now, granted, she gets roles because of Sleepaway Camp, because
She's all over the place, which is, I mean, yeah, seemingly great. Yeah.
but like at the same time too, there's got to be a point where it's like, okay, well, this is my paycheck today because of this. God damn it, I wish one person would bring up one other movie I did, instead of showing up in all these fucking Camp Arawak t-shirts.
Dude,
thing is, like,
yeah. So this.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. I was gonna change the subject, so honestly, you could.
Oh no, I was
Keep
just
going.
saying because like I don't know sometimes what is good. You do maybe a bunch of small medium roles or you do one huge one and then you try other ones but you're only gonna be known for that. I don't know, like if you think not that they didn't do anything, but like most of the people know, like especially for TV shows like Friends, Seinfeld, like they get always known for those things and everything else they try. Like from Friends, like Matt LeBlanc, he tried multiple shows. They're all kind of like.
I mean, I don't know. Jennifer Aniston's pretty
Famous,
famous.
but
So
that's
is
Yeah,
Courtney
those-
Cox.
I don't know.
Those
Courtney
are, like,
Cox
the
is not
two,
that
though,
much.
right? You know?
She's coming back now though. Like
And
Lisa
Scream, like
yeah, like
I feel like Courtney Cox is like really famous in those two roles, and that's it, right? You know what I mean? Like Scream and Friends.
even Scream. Like I didn't even know she was in this until like now that I heard there was kind of like I don't know a sequel reboot whatever it was because I don't watch this kind of movie. I only knew her
Oh, that's
as
right.
like Friends and that she did Cougar Town that I never watched, but I know because Abed on Community.
Oh, I watched some of that too. I watched some of Cougar Town. So I
So-
forgot about that. Kind of cute. It's kind of a cute show.
So it's like when you talk about Seinfeld and you look at that entire cast, Julia Louis-Dreyfus had been acting prior to that, did some things. This was a role that, fed her and her family for literally like a decade.
I mean, she's actually from Billionaire Family, so she was okay before that. But anyway,
Sure.
But like
sure,
still, like
sure.
she did like a bunch of other stuff that went other places and won awards. But usually, if you see her in the street, you're gonna be like, "Oh, Elaine." You're not gonna be like
Elaine.
Veep
Right.
or whatever. her
Like,
name
she
was
is
in
Elaine.
Veep or old Christine.
And recently, I was just listening to this interview with Sean Gunn, and he talks about he's more recognized for his stint on the Gilmore
Than
Girls.
anything else.
Than
I
anything
completely
ever done.
believe it. My God, that show
Yeah.
has a huge cult following. My gosh, I've never watched it
He
actually.
said it bought
But-
his house. He said it bought his house that he still lives
Dude,
in today.
Gilmore
so-
Girls is fucking tits, dude. That show is baller.
I believe it. I
Like,
believe it.
Jen
But
started
I want to
watching.
get back into the movie here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this
Before you
is
go
the
back to the
movie,
movie,
though.
I just want to address Reeves on the chat here. He's asking why
believe you.
I shaved. So like Saturday, I was getting ready to watch The Flash, and I tried just to fix like a part of my beard here, and then it started getting uneven, and I kept going lower, lower, and then I was like, "Fuck, I need to shave the whole thing." So I just want to address this. in the chat. Sorry.
Fresh and clean and
Thank you.
shiny, clean and
Nice.
shiny.
Thank you.
Yeah, Aaron's waiting for my beard to grow back.
But yeah, to go into the celebrity shit too. I mean, the fact that too, the Dale gets the CGI surgery,
Right.
to keep himself looking young is just genius.
I mean,
like that's such, like amazing.
How
way
Hollywood,
to,
right?
have social commentary. Yeah.
Like to get surgery to look more current. Like that's such like a plastic surgery. I mean, which is clear. It's not like there's much digging to do there, but like
Yeah.
a plastic surgery type deal. Yeah.
But it works with like today's modern era of like, oh, we're not doing 2D animation anymore. We're gonna now 3D everything. So if like a cartoon was a real being or thing, they would be like, yeah, I'm gonna go
Right.
get that CGI
I
surgery.
want to be able to get roles, or I want to be able to be relevant, or yeah. Definitely wild. I was like, I wonder what that would look like. I guess similar to whatever. Anyway, yeah.
And it's funny, like looking in the context of this movie, because we talked about the Jurassic Park, the Lion King reboot movie, and the fact that like they basically say that Blue is the same Blue from the original movie, except that he just got like a CGI surgery to be able to do the reboot.
Yeah, and they had Pumbaa, which we obviously mentioned because of Seth Rogen. Yeah. But yeah, I liked that. When I first saw the poster for this movie and it was like, one of them's cartoon, one of them's 3D, it was kind of off-putting, but in the context of the movie, it obviously made sense. So I was like, oh, okay, like it clicked then.
Now, I remember seeing the trailer. I remember seeing an ad for it and being like, "This is dumb." Then I watched the trailer because it just kind of played like scrolling through my feed or whatever, and I was like, "This looks like the funniest movie like that Disney's ever."
I didn't know
put
it
out.
was coming out. I just saw someone talking about it, and I was like, "Oh, okay." need to
So
watch.
what they really did that I thought was really cool, and I never saw the trailer for it. I watched it once when it first came out, like late one night, because I think we had talked about it here at one point, and or briefly had discussed it, whatever. So it made me very interested. I watched it late one night, and like at that point I enjoyed it, but it was late and I fell asleep, so whatever. But like in going back through, like it's smart. And what I think they do really, really well is cross a number of styles of animation. They
point.
work everything together in a live action real world environment in a way that like you're marrying 3D with Uncanny Valley with fucking traditional yeah, literally with traditional 2D animation, all set,
Even claymation.
and claymation
Oh, yes.
inside of a real
puppets
world.
too.
Did you guys see how they shot this?
I
at all?
saw, I saw
puppet
that they
making,
had to
yeah.
make like a real shadow and then CG or put the 2D in on
they
top
had,
of it.
Like, they had
Wow.
like little Chippendale fucking statues, or even basically every character had like a little statue they had to put into like the real scene so they can like real time like shoot it and track it and then replace it.
That's awesome.
Later.
It's insane. It's insane.
And I want to know how I couldn't find how they did the 2D animation at all, and I really want to know how they did that because it looks like it's like motion captured on the actors. Like the way they move when they're 2D doesn't look like traditional 2D, but it looks like traditional
Right.
2D, but the movement doesn't look like traditional 2D, and it feels like this new
It was
kind of tech.
rotoscoping.
Um,
I don't know.
Was it all
I'm
rotoscoping?
just-
Yeah, I think it's a kind of rotoscoping, but I think it's more like today's the way they've been doing all this kind of like AI, like they're like programs called Epson that like you can like put frames in and it like kind of matches up the frames and mocaps you in a bit. So I think it's like a mixture. I wish I could figure it out. I couldn't find it because it looks so good. Like the 2D looks like I'm looking at a cartoon, but he's turning his head and he's moving and shit. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of insane. Like shit that would take Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like probably years to do.
Like an entire like 3 decades to do. Yeah.
You know, one thing I
But-
feel like they didn't have the balls to make on the movie. I believe all the lawyers told them not to. At the same time, they didn't have that much to work on at that point. But when they do the bootleg versions and they change the characters, it would be funny if they pick characters from movies that Disney made like a live action version, and the bootleg be like how Pumbaa look on the new Lion King or something like this, showing how bad the CG is that everybody hated.
Well, can I tell you what I thought would have been the fun bootlegs? What I thought would have been the fun bootlegs are the movies that Disney ripped off. Like when we
Kimba,
talked about the
whatever,
Lion King.
yeah.
Exactly. If Disney had tried to rewrite history there and say, no, we came first. I thought that would have been a good time.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as bad as this villain is with the bootlegging and all that, but at the same time, I mean, Peter Pan's only doing it because he's got, the system shunned him out, told him he was fucking ugly, and so he started just stealing their shit. It's like why people torrent movies these days, right? It's because like you're putting out a movie for like recently, right? John Wick 4 came out on rental, and it was a $20 rental.
Yeah.
And it was like, why? Like, I'll spend $20 on a Blu-ray. You know what I mean? I'll buy it, and I'll even spend $20 on a ticket. But for renting it, digitally,
Right.
No.
Yeah, you don't even own the thing. Yeah, that's a.
Also, they say
that's
like
crazy.
even if you buy online, and something happen like on the store, whatever, Amazon, whatever you're buying of, like you don't really own like they
Anything.
yeah, even if they just like
Right.
okay, you don't have anymore and then delete, you don't have like if, with the physical thing that unless your house
Yeah.
burned or
So
something.
what I'm saying is I kind of respect Peter Pan a
So-
little bit. You know, I mean, maybe he's torturing these cartoons, which isn't nice.
But like, why is Peter Pan is
know,
literally
him
the
saying, "Fuck
only
you" to the
character
system.
that age? Because he even met one of his lost boys, and he was still like a kid. Like he's like literally the only character that age. Because if it's like He-Man, like all the old school cartoons, they're all the same. He's like the only person that looked different.
And I loved that there. Well, why are we trying to explain logic? Like that's the other thing, because Chip and Dale obviously hit a point where they aged up to the cartoon, to the show, right? Because they met in third grade. They went in theory from third grade through high school together, then graduated, then got jobs in entertainment as Chip and Dale, as the Rescue Rangers, and then 30 years have passed and they're like accountants and shit. So if you're looking at it logically, they should be in their late 40s. At the what is it, youngest, they should be between 47 and 50 years old, give or take. Give or take.
And they do not look. They just didn't age.
Right. Because and I watched a couple episodes of the cartoon after this, and I want to say, what was it, like 91, 92, right? That they were in there. So I'm like 11 or 12. I'm fucking 43 right now. I'm an old man. So like they're at least 5 to 7 years older than me. They're near 50. They have to be.
Wait,
Right?
Chip and
Yeah,
Dale
gotta
is
be.
only it's just say here 89 to 90. So they only have
89
like
to.
Huh.
So they're even older. It was just 2 seasons. Yeah, they're even older.
Oh wow. It ended before I was born. That's weird. I watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
Weird.
I'm sure it aired for like reruns
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
forever.
I guess that-
Syndication,
yeah.
baby.
Huh. Wow.
the
Syndication.
good old days of syndication.
Disney hitting that, like, what is it, 50 to 100 episodes max, and then
And like
Yeah.
done.
Mm.
That's it.
Okay,
Over.
yeah, that would explain it then.
what
Huh.
you guys
So-
think about the whole Paul Rudd joke there? He's the
It was-
auntie man.
It was cute.
Aunt man.
Aunt man.
It was cute.
It was fun. I mean, I'm sure they were like, someone was like, "Hey, Paul Rudd's around. Do you want to get Paul Rudd in this?" And we're like, "Sure." And then they just, Paul Rudd. He was like, "What do you want me to say?" They're like, "I don't know." And he was like, "Okay, I'll just say this."
I'll make up what it's literally probably what he told people at Comic-Con
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Andy Samberg's like, he's like, "What do you want me to say?" You know that thing you say sometimes at Comic Con? Just say that.
Done. Oh, you mean when I joke about aunts versus ants? Yeah, absolutely. Done. Done. I'll do it with my smile. What's my Disney paycheck right now?
And
You know?
again, only
Yeah.
Peter Pan age on this because Paul Rudd never aged too. Just saying.
Yeah, you're right. Yes. Well said.
So Chip and Dale, either they hit a brick wall with their aging, because what's her name? What is it? Is it Gidget or Gadget? It's
Gadget.
Gadget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Gadget
what's
doesn't
the
age.
Zipper?
And Zipper, they've had 1 billion children.
yeah.
Monterey didn't age
Yeah, it
at
didn't.
all. Nothing. So they hit their wall and they quit aging. So
I mean, you know what? Isn't that life though? Some people just age differently. You know.
yeah, that's true. That is true. You've not gotten a day older in the time that I've met you, that I've known you, James. You stay perpetually young.
See, people think that my brother is older than me.
Yeah, I believe it.
Nice.
I believe it. Same with Bergio. Bergio doesn't seem to age at all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how y'all do
We're
it.
forever young, 1530. You know?
Forever young. You guys are fucking Rod Stewart in this bitch.
Just realized I was muted. I was saying that allegedly Burgess probably drinking the blood of young children to
I'm
keep his youth.
allegedly. I'm certain of it. Like I don't.
I can't grow facial hair. That's really what's the
You
problem.
know what? And I'll just tell tales out of school because I feel like it. My buddy Calvert, same thing. For up until he turned about maybe 37, like he would get two patches, one on either side of his face, and then one like right under his chin. He would get those three patches, and that was it. And he couldn't grow,
Yeah,
couldn't grow anything else to save his life. And I think it's kept him very young.
there you go. That's the key. Just don't grow facial hair. But yeah, and then we get to the mystery part of this movie, and this one actually like really turned into Roger Rabbit. I mean, like the guy's like plan is kind of similar. I feel like to the bad guy in
I need
Roger
to watch
Rabbit. Right? I mean, he's
Roger
trying to
Rabbit again. I don't remember the plot.
Well, like it's Christopher Lloyd's like stealing all the tunes and he's melting them down.
Oh.
Well, his plan is to destroy Toon World to make the highway.
Oh yeah.
But he's also melting them down to like do whatever to them, and so it's like kind of similar to this guy. He's like kidnapping them, changing them up, torturing all these fucking cartoons.
Right.
For profit. For profit.
Yeah, for profit. Yeah.
That's the big thing. So the profit in Roger Rabbit is the highway. The profit here is in bootlegs, but either way, they're exploiting their own kind for profit.
Oh yeah, because that's the twist. Christopher Lloyd was a cartoon.
Yep.
The whole time.
How about the legit business that he also had that he buy like stuff nobody remember exists from shows and he melts to make other stuff to get parts like the Shrek squeeze bottle or whatever he had there.
Oh, right. That was. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Because that's like the front business that he has. So people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a good point. That's the front.
I mean, I love that that Dale owns all this like Chippendales, like memorabilia.
The Pogs.
Yeah.
But I mean, wouldn't you too, like, of the shit that you did or you made or you were a part of, if there was like.
Yeah, if I worked, that's my dream in life, is to work on anything that I can have a slew of action figures and whatever merch. Like that, I would cover my room in it. If I had a Dwayne Steeler action figure, you kidding me? I would make hundreds of them. I've scattered all over my room everywhere.
I mean, there is a bootlegger out there who made a Nadia White. I'm sure he'll make you a Dwayne Steeler.
It'd be funny, like when James finished the Dwayne movie, someone bootleg and make like a pirate version of this Dwayne movie with like a different name and like someone that kind of looked like Dwayne.
I hope.
If you do it, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd really make it come full circle.
Keanu Reeves makes his portrait
Yeah.
payback.
Just to get payback. He's literally to get a portrait of payback.
And then he's wearing all those spikes on his arm and
That would be
he howls at the
amazing.
moon or whatever. It's gonna be on the script.
Oh, there's some howling going on. Trust me. You can't make a Dwayne movie without some howling.
Yeah.
Without a mountain of howling. Like that's the that's tremendous. And can we just say, like, I just want to toss this out there while we're talking about Dwayne. You know what? You gotta respect the guy who has dealt with online nonsense from people, and I don't want to talk too much of his business, but Steeler has a new Instagram.
Oh, he does. Steele got a new Instagram because it was hacked.
Because he was hacked. So you know what? We support Dwayne Steeler 110%. Like no matter what. People online are shit. They will continue to be shit.
That's like, as much as part of it was, we saw John Wick 4 and we wanted to make a cool Dwayne action movie. Another reason why I wanted to make it was because to make Dwayne look like a fucking badass after these bullies beat him up and take his shit. Do you know what I mean? It was like my way of having Dwayne like fight back, and to show that he's fucking awesome. And the rest of these internet trolls are all fucking pussies and are horrible.
You know what?
You're doing the end of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Literally. Yeah, as an entire action
Good
movie.
for you all. Yeah. Show the trolls who's boss, by like actually doing something with your lives. For real.
Life imitates art. Art imitates life in this moment. It is it's absurd. It really is.
Yeah.
But find Dwayne on Instagram. If I can check out some amazing artwork. That's all
Yeah,
I'll
he made
say.
a new one too. I don't remember it offhand, but Y'all out there in the
think it's-
Instagram world, he made a new backup Instagram.
I know. One time Dwayne's not in our chat for him to
Yeah,
to tell us.
Because
Yeah,
we're on a
yeah.
Monday, so that probably threw him off.
Yeah.
good point, because this is unique for us.
He's still relaxing from yesterday. You know, the guy worked hard yesterday.
He's
Yeah.
on a tub with water and ice.
Here it is. I got it right
to
here.
relax the muscle.
His Instagram, his new Instagram is Steeler the Whiplash.
Steeler
Oh,
the
okay, thank you.
Whiplash.
Just-
Okay, yeah.
Follow that.
Just Steeler Whiplash.
We do
Yeah, I
have
think it's a
Reeves
new
on the
backup.
chat, and I want to know if Reeves' back is like hurting from all the rehearsal. If he type here.
Yeah, Reeves, how you feeling after after Dwayne beat you up? But to get back, while we wait for Reeves to answer us here, to get back to Chippendales though, you know, I said I really like this movie. I didn't really expect much of it. I saw the trailer. I was like, this looks really funny, and I'm actually like super disappointed that they kind of, and I say dumped on Disney Plus, but that they dumped it on Disney Plus. You know, that this should have been a theatrical
Yeah.
movie, in my opinion.
No, they
Oh, I'm
definitely
shocked.
buried this. Just like if you really want to watch it, when you're gonna watch it.
I am
Like I don't.
shocked it was not in theaters. I did not realize that it wasn't in theaters. That's really shocking.
It was only Disney Plus exclusive, but yet they put out shit like Strange Worlds or whatever, or some other, all these other crap. And this is such a good movie, and they just are like, nah, we're gonna put this on the Plus.
Weird.
Well,
Definitely
it
weird.
came out straight up in pandemic, right? Like this was
It
their,
was 2021.
huh?
It was
Yeah,
2021.
2021 was still like a shit show. It was like slowly opening.
So Reeves says that his back is fine. He's more exhausted from Connor's CrossFit exercises.
Yeah, I didn't get into that. Connor brought us. The first rehearsal, Reeves got us through the stretches. This time around, Connor let us do the stretches, and man, that guy is fit for a reason.
So
Because as a director, I felt obligated to do the stretches with
you
everybody.
have to.
And that fucking quads. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I love the
stretch-
fact that Connor's coming up from Mass for these days to do this too. You want to talk about dedication? Like, holy shit, that's amazing.
And you should look at him, man. And yeah, I'm not. I can't say yet, but man, the outfit that this guy is gonna wear is gonna be incredible.
I can't wait. Cannot wait.
Nice.
They
Is
made some leather.
so
Connor's
is
awesome.
Connor? Is he the big bad or
He is the villain.
he's
Yeah,
the big
well,
bad?
Yeah, he's the villain. Yeah, he's the leader of this art thieving crew.
Is when they start fighting, he's gonna like be like, "I'm ready," and then like rip his shirt off and start fighting.
Oh,
Kind
so
of.
sexy.
Kind of.
So fucking sexy.
Oh, yeah.
All
Yay,
right.
Connor!
talk-
We love you.
But yeah, let's get back to this Chippendales. Though.
That's a thing that
Yeah,
I
mean,
wish I
talked
had
about-
done more of, was get a Connor out of his shirt. I should have gotten more Connor out of his shirt.
Yeah, instead you put him in a full suit and lab.
It would have been funny for no reason at all. He's like, "Oops, I dropped this liquid here."
Oh my God.
Comes
You gotta
like
take a
sexy
shot.
scientist. I wish. God damn it.
The sexy
Hun-
scientist.
Hindsight is 2020. Wow.
Trust me, and if you think Connor's sexy now, wait till you see him in this movie.
I'm already hard. I don't know what you're talking about.
And you say you're not even wearing pants,
Now,
right?
No, I'm not. I'm really not.
Notice how we're trying to get back to them, and people just can't
We're
get
not-
off
we're not
Connor's
getting
hotness.
back, yeah.
Connor, you're that hot. If you're listening, you're that hot that people cannot get off talking about.
Like now we're gonna talk about aliens, just so
Yeah.
we won't go back to the movie at all.
ever again. No, the movie's over. It was very good. So like there was another disclosure event recently, wasn't there? I believe so.
Actually, I do kind of wanted to ask about this because didn't something happen in Vegas? As of recently?
Yes.
Like a spaceship crashed in Vegas, and some people are like, "It was in my backyard. I saw this creature."
I seen it. It is in my yard.
And
It's gonna be
And
the
I wanna
leprechaun
say, too,
again.
and they have the weird shitty drawing.
And that's the thing, man. Today, dude, we have the most advanced cameras ever in our pockets, in our literal pockets that we walk around with every day and take. All these dumb TikTokers make this like incredibly 4K
Yeah.
footage. an alien crashes in Vegas, and the only footage that people have are this body cam
Vegas.
police footage. That's just this like blob in the air.
It's
like
Yeah, we live in a
weird.
bullshit place.
It's weird, grainy. It's it's one of those things where, like when you look at this kind of stuff, like you want to believe so hard, but then at the same time, like the people who go back through and either pump it up or try and discredit it or whatever. Okay, it was made on a computer. Grain was added because it looked too fake to begin with. Now it looks more fake. Or people are like, well, hell, it's the only camera he had, man. It grainy as fuck. I have access to a fucking GoPro, my phone, and my laptop. The laptop's got the shittiest camera on it. But if an alien were to crash land in my backyard, I'm breaking out my fucking cell phone right away, and I'm throwing on the flashlight to it so we can get some semi-decent footage.
Yeah.
And some of
that's a normal thing to do, and somehow here we are. How many years since Roswell, and we're still getting the same grainy footage,
same shitty footage. It's weird though, because like what they're suggesting now in all of this sort of thing with the alien stuff is we're literally inches away from them telling us that they've not only had craft for years, but they've backwards like engineered it for years, and it's a whole other thing. Like next week's show should be an alien show.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of shit coming out.
I think the ugly Sonic is an alien.
Oh, I hope
if
so.
only. If only. If there was a planet of ugly Sonics with their human teeth.
And Nicole, did you recognize Ugly Sonic?
You know, it's funny. I did not until Andy pointed out, and then
second. Wow, Andy knows all the
he's
voice
really
actors.
good with that. He should
Sure
be
about
the
that?
co-host. Yeah.
You sure about
Yeah.
that?
So, James, do you want to say it, or yeah?
Tim Robbins, man, I think you should leave. Like, so
Yeah,
good. He keeps picking up stuff and saying it's other stuff.
He is a comedic genius. That guy. I'm happy he's like getting movie work. You know.
What I love most about Ugly Sonic here is because when him working with the FBI, you know, that was a real show that Steven Seagal did.
Oh god, yeah.
Like Steven Seagal like worked with like not the FBI, I don't think, but it was like some sort of like government,
Texas
like
It was
local like,
in
thing.
Louisiana.
Louisiana?
He worked with a police department.
Yeah, and they went to go after like, you know, supposable drug addicts or whatever, or infiltrate, you know, do a bunch of raids.
Bro,
Seagal is like a guy I 100% dislike him. I don't know. I don't like that guy.
So he's the worst. That's why I love. I hate Steven Seagal so much. I love
He's like
just making fun of
I
him.
was gonna say he's
Hilarious.
a little bitch, but he's a big bitch. He's big.
And he's a very big bitch.
Yeah.
He only does fight scenes in a chair.
No, his
it's
fight
amazing.
scenes are like it's like Austin Powers, like karate chop, like, and then the guy flips and.
But this you guys literally look up this show because it got canceled. First, like watch any clip from it. Steven Seagal first doesn't know how to hold a gun at all. So it's like he's constantly like just pointing it at people, you know, his fingers on the trigger and all that stuff. And then there's one episode that got the show canceled because they got tipped off. Fuck, I'm trying to remember the whole story because it's really fucked up. So really just go check it out. But they got tipped off that there was an illegal dog, fighting going on. So they break in and break up the illegal dog fighting. But they go in there, guns ablazing. Turns out there's no illegal dog fighting, and they end up killing this dude's dog. And then the guy had to like sue these people over it, and like the whole show got canceled. But there's a lot of other fucked up shit that show. Like it's
the fuck?
look it
I
up.
feel
It's
like
fucking
his,
wild.
like first his movie sucks, and then didn't he got like a citizenship from like Russia, and he's like super pro whatever bullshit come from Russia, and he's like super Republican too. Like,
So
he doesn't even know what he.
So
Like I went to this other podcast and they were like, "How do you feel about being like, you know, a white dude doing all this kung fu?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not white." And then just started like listing 8 different nationalities and countries he's from.
what I think anybody and everybody here should do, if you haven't, there's a podcast called The Dollop, and it's hands down one of my favorite American history, just American pop culture podcast. It is one of the greatest shows ever. They did a 3-part, it's like 6 hours on Steven Seagal. It is insane.
Fuck, I want to listen
The
to
man's
that.
story is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
He is crazy.
Yeah, like I hate Steven Seagal, but I love watching things about Steven Seagal because
It's a
is so fucked up. He's like is so
it's a
insane.
beautiful
and
train
delusional.
wreck. The hands down one of the greatest moments on SNL, and by greatest I mean
His awesome SNL
is
hosting.
it's one of the worst things ever to happen on this, but it is amazing as a viewer. Like it's the last.
This is what happens when you pollute the planet.
Right? It's
Wait, but
like
that's
the
more like
last
the
sketch of
monologue or
night.
the whole thing?
No,
The whole thing. The whole thing is a
but
disaster.
the last sketch of the night is like it's this thing where he comes in and he karate chops an executive board who is talking about pollution.
0 cast members, by the way.
Right, it's all fucking stunt people and
Weird.
like extras. Not a single cast member. And then Steven Seagal comes in and he's like karate chop, flip a guy, turn a table over, and then he points like deadpan right down the center of the camera. This is what happens when you pollute the planet. And then there's not a laugh, there's nothing, and it just cuts to black, goes to commercial, and they come back for like everybody on the stage after. It's the greatest thing ever.
Fuck.
So amazing.
Awkward.
Yeah, and there's a really fun YouTube channel. I don't remember the name of it, but they watch all Steven Seagal movies and just tear it to shreds. It's really funny. But when I saw Ugly Sonic doing the FBI thing, I immediately was like, "Oh my god, that's got to be some sort of Steven Seagal like reference for that fucking show that existed." But yeah, I don't know. Let's how do you guys feel about the human character?
Oh, the
I
lady.
thought she was great. It's one of those things where it's like it ties everything together, and she does a wonderful job of bringing you, the viewer, as a human viewer, into the cartoon world.
You know what? I didn't think about it that way. She does definitely ground the movie.
Yeah.
That helps it out a lot. Though for me, I thought her dialogue was very like the worst in the whole movie. Like all her dialogue felt either like I had to explain things or it was just very straightforward. I don't know. I didn't feel like she really had that much of a personality.
Like she's there for exposition.
Yeah.
Like I get that, and as sort of the red herring in the story.
And the red hair.
Yeah, you're right.
I get it. Yeah.
I thought, yeah. I mean, I agree. Red herring, that was, a good use of her character. I agree. Her dialogue felt like dialogue often. I think there was some dialogue in the third act that I was really like.
Yeah, there was like one line she says at the end where they're like, "Oh, do you like?" I think the FBI is like, "Oh, do you want a job?" And she's like, "No, I'm gonna start my own detective
Yeah,
agency."
like
And
why
I'm
they give her
so
corny
cheesy.
lines like that?
Yeah.
And I wish I could remember more, but I feel like there were like other characters too, though, especially in that third act. Like, oh, okay, like how, like spoiler alert, but like how, who is it? Dale? Yes, Dale? Chip? One of them figures out how to get.
That's Dale, I
Dale
think.
figures out how to get them out of the situation they're in by like clues that Ellie gives, and it felt really like I know it's a movie where there's like a bunch
The
of
most obvious clues. Like she was like, "Oh, watch this episode." Like it was just the most obvious way to like give someone a clue ever.
He did like a whole. I don't know if you guys
Just
watched
weird.
The Office, but it's like how Michael Scott said he remember people's name by giving nicknames, and he go like around like in the weird thing to come to the person name.
That's what it felt
But
like.
that was I guess like the joke on that. But the whole FBI is like, we need more people like you. I don't know. That was like,
And she's like,
yeah,
I'm
it's-
starting my
it's-
own.
yeah, it's that easy to get in the
she had-
FBI.
And then she had a line where she literally tells Chip, like, "Oh, that was my secret code that I had to give him." Like, why did she have to say it? She didn't need, we don't, like, she didn't need to say that. Also, you're saying it out loud.
So the bad guys can hear it.
Yeah.
There's another thing that folks do when questions like that are asked in like in sort of like comedies or whatever. What I think would have played and what I think would have been 10 times funnier, but you know, you're rewriting after the fact. Hindsight's 2020. Is she just should have looked at Chip and just winked. You know, just giving him a wink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm,
Like, I
yeah.
got this. Don't worry. We're not going to explain. And I
Yeah,
think
it's
even
like
a
show don't
child,
tell.
I think even a child would have been
This
like,
movie
oh,
did a lot of
Yeah.
tell. I felt like, you know.
I guess that's the kids' movie
Yeah.
part. I mean, it is PG at the end of
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah.
Gotta explain everything to kids. I mean, that's what we learned in Spider-Man last week, where he just has to explain everything that he does.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But still, at the end of the day, man, I don't know. I still love this movie. I thought,
I
like,
agree.
because Disney just puts out such crap. So I'm glad that, like, you know, like, you can give, like, even Disney can still give good filmmakers something that's going to be hilarious and funny, even if it's PG.
yeah.
Like they need to be able to take the risk. Because
Yeah, and they
usually they don't.
Yes, I mean, all right, let's wrap this shit up. Though, let's I know, Ben. What's your final thoughts? Would you want to see more reboot shows like this, like kind of taking this meta? Route?
Like, so that's the thing. Yes and no. I think they picked the right. I think they picked the right property to tell the story with. Like, I don't know that I would want to see Tailspin done this way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that I would want to see Darkwing Duck done this way. But I loved the story. I really do think they picked the right one and the right way to sort of tell this, and I thought it was great. Do I want to see more interesting reboots? Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to dip back into that well, make it interesting. But every movie Disney does now can't be, oh, we used to be on a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good
like,
point.
it can't be that.
Exactly.
It cannot. But I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought this was a success. I want to see more of it. More.
Yeah, I would love to see more of it too. Like I said, perfect double feature with Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh,
Especially
100%.
because Roger Rabbit is there with the same voice actor too.
And animator. They said they got the same guy who drew Who Framed Roger Rabbit to work on this movie to do the frames to draw him in this
Oh,
movie.
wow.
So I'll go ahead and just add like a quick sort of epilogue there. I would like to see more animation in real world. If you mean that level of style, absolutely yes. That's 100%.
But it sucks because I've always wanted more movies like this. Because the only movies I can think about that do this are Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is amazing. And there's Cool World, which we watched on Totally Toonular that you guys weren't on. That's what I did with our sexy pal Connor.
Yes.
But that movie fucking blows, to be honest.
wow.
And then there's Space Jam, which is fun, but it was pretty outdated at this point. And then there's another Looney Tunes one with Brendan Fraser, which
Space
I've never
Jam 2.
seen, but it looks not Space
I
Jam
know
2,
that
but
he's like a Canadian.
Looney Tunes Back in Action. That's what it's called. I've never
Okay.
seen it, but it looks like garbage. And then Space Jam 2 is garbage.
Mhm.
Then this is being dumped on Disney Plus. Like, it doesn't. I still feel like the live action cartoon thing is still not going to take off, which kind of sucks.
It should. It should. If done well and done right, like it absolutely should.
And now more than ever, I feel like it's easier than it was when they did, the Space Jam or Who Framed
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit. Like, I feel like the today makes it is way easier than it was back then. Because I'm pretty sure at Who Framed Roger Rabbit, they had a draw on every single frame that they also had to shoot in that movie. Which is crazy. That's
Like on the cells.
map man out.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild. At least this time around, you can shoot a live action and then you'll have a 3D set, and you just gotta just place it in there, and then have some fun compositing to sell
And
it
you
better and
have
shit.
Command Z too. That's important. You don't have when you join a cell.
Yeah. There you go, Command Z. That helps helps everybody out everywhere. Nicole, what are your final thoughts? How do you feel about the Post Malone song?
Yeah, yes, I'm happy you brought that up because I was gonna bring that up if you didn't. Loved it. Love my man Posty. Yeah, he just like makes my heart beat really fast. Don't tell Andy, my husband. But yeah, I thought that song was really good, honestly. I thought this movie was really good too. Like there were some like I don't know, like we were kind of talking about before, there were some cheesy lines I wasn't all in on, but like whatever. Like generally I thought this was really fun and I appreciate like as you all mentioned too, the creativity of putting this in the real world. I don't want to see the same sort of theme again and again, but it was really fun for this one. So yeah, it's a success.
Yeah, it feels fresh.
Success.
It feels fresh in a world of things not being
Yes,
fresh.
and it is poking fun at that too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it owns itself by making fun of itself
Mhm.
and also being something different. Like it's super smart in that way. And it sucks that I feel like nobody really talks about it.
Yeah.
I feel like this could have
Yeah.
been bigger than it was.
Good point.
But success.
Yes,
Success.
definitely.
Leo, what are your final thoughts? Does this make you like Lonely Island any better?
Oh yeah, I'm always like a fan of those guys. I love when they make like any content. I definitely gonna check it out. I'm sad that like you guys saying it was buried on Disney Plus. They didn't even try to promote that much. Like the only thing I guess they did was putting one of those banners on the first page.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a trailer when it was coming out, and that was about it. And then something that told me that it was out. I really didn't see much of this shit really anywhere.
Also, like I appreciate that they brought like some of the voice actors of the cartoons.
Yeah, they got real
Yeah.
voice. The people who voice characters come
that
back too, which is
So
really
that
awesome.
was like cool, and also like how we mentioned in the beginning, the like all the property they put together. That it's not just Disney stuff. It's probably was a shit show.
Yeah, you got Randy Marsh. We can't forget that Randy Marsh is in a Disney
Yup.
movie.
Yup.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like it is definitely a success. I always gonna watch
Success.
anything Lonely Island put out, and yeah, success.
Hell yeah.
Success.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a
Success.
because I remember this movie came out. I remember begging John to watch it, and he was like, "Oh no, no." I was like, "Just watch it, just like it's on Disney Plus." I got it, and then we both fucking dug it. We were totally into it. And yeah, I love the idea too that all these cartoons I've watched growing up are also just like real celebrities in the world. Like that makes me really happy in some way. That like He-Man and Skeletor are, like having signing tables together.
That's so
and signing
funny.
shit. And I'm a big nerd, so I love references. I love finding things to point out. And like even the beginning when he's walking down looking at the billboards. Like those billboards also aren't like too far off from like what could be reality, right? Like Fast and Furious babies.
E.T.
You know?
E.T. versus Batman.
Or
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's what
And then
I
there's-
was trying to remember.
I would watch that.
And then Meryl Streep as Mr. Doubtfire.
But like even on the credits kind of thing that they show like the new Chip and Dale thing coming on reboot or whatever they're doing, it was Vin Diesel with them.
Yeah, Vin Diesel starring in their Chip and Dale's reboot in that universe.
So funny.
Which
Also,
is amazing.
we never
Yeah, I don't know.
touched that J.K. Simmons was like one of the villains too, and it's also awesome to hear his voice too, no matter where he is.
Yeah, he was the Gumby
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, I don't know. This movie was great. It's so much fun. Like everybody just go watch it. And said the animation's so good. Like I still don't know how they pulled off this 2D, and I really want to find out because I wish this could be the future of what animation could be.
Yeah.
Besides Spider-Verse, which is also a really awesome glimpse of the future, and Arcane, bring back Arcane. But this also is a really good example of how awesome animation can go, and how good like Disney could really spend their money on animation and make it good. Because a lot of their shit always just looks so bad today, too, animation wise, in my opinion. I give it A huge
success.
I said, I just wish it was bigger. I wish it was a bigger movie. I feel like it just kind of got shunned down.
Yeah.
A bit. But yeah, fucking Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. Everybody go check it out. Fuck, an ugly Sonic. What a fucking genius cameo.
Yeah.
Like I just want to go, like fucking genius.
Yes.
I like how they like
Like-
the thing like they focus only on his teeth, but like the other thing everybody hates is at the eyes.
Yes.
They don't touch a lot
Yeah.
on the eyes, too.
But I remember the one meme going around. It was of Ugly Sonic's teeth. Like that was like the image I distinctly remember in my brain.
Just those
Like a
teeth.
screenshot of him smiling or something with his teeth.
But James, what is next week?
Next week, man. Next week's dude, it is technically it's your last recorded episode.
It's my
bro.
last
It's
being
next week.
live, I guess, right? But like we still have like a fake.
We got our July 4th
Yeah.
epised, but really this is gonna be your last episode next
I
week
know.
though. It's kind of sad. It's pretty
Yeah.
sad.
It
I
is
need a sad
sad.
cartoon.
Well, it's not a sad cartoon,
Yeah.
but I
I
will
don't know if I
say
can take it.
to join us on your last episode, I got our good old sponsor himself, Big
Fuck
Dan.
yeah! I want Big Dan to take my chair.
Nice.
Yeah, we're gonna figure that out. You know, we haven't decided yet. It's still a bridge that I don't want to
Yeah.
cross. You know,
I understand.
it's like who do we pick? How do I fill this chair? It's a lot. You know, but for Big Dan coming on here now, Leo, I know since you're from Brazil, what I know about Brazil is Brazil has nice butts.
Yeah.
And Brazil,
My butt
likes
is
butts.
pretty nice. Like
There you go. So, so next week we're watching a show that's about butts, and it's called Assy McGee.
I'm
See
so-
McGee.
where is this show?
It's an Adult Swim show, and it's only streaming on the Adult Swim website.
Oh, okay.
You can watch it all on the Adult Swim website. I think it's 1 or 2 seasons, and it's pretty amazing. And I got some. So the reason why I picked it too, besides Brazil and its butts, there's a funny backstory behind it that has to do with the WWE, where they try to make a Vince McMahon butt cartoon
Oh god.
that only lasted 2 episodes because they got copyright strike because of Assy McGee. So there's a really long, funny story about that. Of these 2 butt cartoons having to go to legal battle over copyright.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, has anyone seen this show, Assy McGee?
I've never
I
heard
never
of
even
it.
heard of it. Yeah.
That's the
I-
best name in the world.
I have. I've seen a few episodes of it from back in the day. I actually, and it got broken while we were shooting Weird Years. Somebody hit the shelf and it fell. James, I don't know if you remember, but I used to have a piggy bank that was a butt that had a holster on it that was up on my shelf. That was Assy McGee.
Huh.
Oh,
Wow.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a detective,
Yep.
right? Isn't it like a detective show?
Absolutely, yes. And it bums me out because somebody's shoulder hit it while we were doing something, and it fell off the fucking shelf and shattered into a million pieces. I'll tell you guys immediately after who it was, but I won't say it here.
But like the only
Yeah.
ass cartoon I remember watching was Ace Ventura because they always have like the butt talking. I don't know if you remember.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot of butt talking because the main character is literally just a talking
Nice.
butt who farts and talks. So
Ew.
that's
That's hilarious. Ew.
all right. Let's roll out of here. Till next week. The last episode on Leo's final
Yeah.
tour.
Oh, and then we
Uh.
pre-recorded the 4th one, so it'll come out later. But this is very sad for us co-hosts. Yes.
Yeah.
Very sad. All right.
Check
Till
me on
next
Chip
week,
and Dale.
guys.
Bye.
You guys, this is all Kyle's mom's fault. Shut up, Cartman. Kyle's mom is the one that started that damn club, and all because she's a big